Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have quite a few different things to go and talk about over here, where we're seeing a lot of really big updates, a lot of big reveals when it comes to the next really big anticipated title, known as the Grand Theft Auto 6. We actually have quite a few different news articles, quite a few different leaks, quite a few announcements, and just a lot of really cool things coming out officially for the game itself. Now, for someone like me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm pretty hyped up for GTA 6, especially after such a huge and long wait since GTA 5 came out. So seeing new information, seeing new features, seeing new things, seeing new concepts and all that is pretty cool. And on top of this too, we actually now have some pretty never before seen in the game features that are now kind of making their way all around the internet as of today. So we have a lot of things to go talk about, a lot of good things to go talk about, so let's go and talk about it as well. If any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, we have the Amazon links down below for all the signups too as well for the consoles themselves. We have the Howl links down below for all the Samsung tie-ins too, so make sure you guys go check those on out and save a bunch of free money on top of that. And as well, we have the Twitter and Twitch room down below, we have the Weeble Coinbase down below, and all that good stuff, Target links as well. And let's go talk about some GTA 6. So, I almost want to just dive on into it. I'm sure you guys know GTA 6 has been in the works. We're hearing about it, we know it's gonna hopefully be good, and I'm kinda just genuinely excited for it. So with this, we are now seeing more intriguing stuff coming out today. So Grand Theft Auto 6 apparently will now even be starring a female playable character, according to a report too as well. And also we have some pretty cool initial things that came out from Bloomberg too, which we'll talk about in a second, but apparently not all the cultural shifts at Rockstar are apparently slowing development and change in the game itself, which I'm going to hope is not going to necessarily be a bad thing at the end of the day when it comes to this. But the new details on the Grand Theft Auto 6 have seemingly been revealed by Bloomberg, which we actually do have the copy-paste, so I'll give you guys that in a second from the original source, and a new report on developer Rockstar Games. The report is about the changing culture at the company and how it may impact the development of the studio's upcoming project, which happens to be the next Grand Theft Auto game. So tellingly, one of the game's main protagonists will reportedly now be a woman. And for the series too as well, which I do think a lot of people are kind of down with that or not against it. I always stand by, I don't care what a character is when it comes to what they are, what they're doing for their game or whatever, as long as they're a good character. No matter what you are, what your sexuality is, I don't care. As long as you're a good, well-written character, and it's a good character to play as, or fun to play as, I think a lot of folks are in the same boat where it's yep, sure, I'm down. It's just always when it's bad or forcefully written in, even same for just a normal generic, someone like a generic white dude like me, if it's just badly written, it's bad, it's not going to be fun to go and play. So I think a lot of folks are probably in that same exact mindset. So tellingly, one of the mains packs, as we mentioned, will be a woman. So according to Bloomberg, from the leaks, that she will be a Latina, who will star alongside someone else in the story influenced by Bonnie and Clyde. Interesting to go and see this kind of huge GTA 6 news coming on out. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be set in a fictionalized version of Miami, which we have been seeing a lot of leaks and rumors when it comes to that, and I do think that's a perfect location, mainly because it's warm, the vibes will be good, we get some palm trees sitting around, and I do think at the end of the day, I'm kind of excited for it. And in the surrounding areas too as well. So where you can get beaches, we can get some clubs, we can get some fun times, some good music, and well, a lot of other fun things that will probably be GTA appropriate. So while original plans for a game world that covered many locations throughout North and South America where it was actually scrapped, the world remains extremely large and includes more indoor locations. And I think that's kind of, you guys can chime in, I do always feel like that's a big deal. Or a lot of these indoor locations are pretty nice. I like the idea of having, say, the casino. I like the idea of having, you have just shops. You have, more buildings to go and buy. And I feel it also kind of makes it more fun for multiplayer. Makes it more fun to play with your friends. Or as well, if you guys ever dive into, say, GTA RP. I think all that put together is pretty fun. So this change of location was specifically made to help keep the game's ambition and scope a little bit more realistic. And I'm sure you guys know most GTA games, they don't want to go for that huge, grandioso, imagine, say, Red Dead Redemption 2 type style games. But I do think, in my mind, it is usually a bit nicer, especially for multiplayer. I think multiplayer is probably a big factor for them, and then maybe in theory they could always even maybe work in the actual DLC, which I don't think ever actually happened for GTA 5, and also be able to try that worked on in for their, maybe for other multiplayer maps, and make it kind of fresh and more interesting. So it's kind of cool to see. So basically, there's also a huge development crunch, and Rockstar titles are usually known for this. So throughout the development of Grand Theft Auto 6, Rockstar has apparently been careful to avoid overtime in general, unlike on the previous games. However, the changes have come with the predictable side effects of slowing down the game's development. While it's been in development since 2014, which is insane to me, developers who talked to Bloomberg say that Grand Theft Auto 6 is likely still at least 2 years away. Now, you guys can let me know in your thoughts and comments, but I'm so hyped up for this game. I just hope it actually turns out good. So basically this, though it is worth noting that the pandemic has likely contributed to these delays as well as Rockstar's new, healthier policies. But development work on Grand Theft Auto 6 won't stop when the game is released either. While the initial game world will just focus on its fictional Miami, Bloomberg's report says that Rockstar's plan to continually update the game, adding new missions and cities. That basically what I just typed over there. The goal with this too is to mitigate crunch and over time in the game's final months of development. And you guys can chime in your thoughts down below. I'm one of those mindsets for me where I'm like, hey, there's kind of no reason not to go and do that. Like, it kind of gives people, like, a lot of folks still play GTA Online as well, don't get me wrong. But I do think one of the bigger things is that people do get bored. See, if they're the GTA map, I could probably go give you guys like almost like a perfectly drawn picture of it at this point from how many times I've randomly revisited, played the story mode or multiplayer. So I like the idea of these live service games, maybe where they could always keep on developing new maps and just kind of giving people new places to explore, new features to go and check out, which I think is cool. So basically, we've had a lot of stuff too as well, even with GTA Online, the multiplayer, where they haven't really done too many new maps though, but they have done, on occasion, a few, and as well a lot more features in cars and stuff like that. And as well as Rockstar's new, less grueling development process, slowing down work on the game and attempting to change the studio's culture in general will also have an impact within the game itself, starting with also the female protagonist. Now, once again, as long as it's a good, well-written character, I don't care who they are or what they do. And I do think Rockstar usually does have good characters, character developments, and it's not usually too cringy nonetheless. But also it's kind of intriguing to see on how the map itself is changing, what's going on with that, and how they're going to try to incorporate that too as well. Bloomberg's report mentions that Rockstar was known for having a workplace culture full of drinking, brawling, and excursions to strip clubs. Well, that's kind of what you do in the game, so I think it kind of makes sense. This version of the company made GTA games that attempted to find the satire in every part of American life, frequently by making jokes about the most vulnerable people in American society and leaning into cheap stereotypes, undercutting many of the game's more salient criticisms and best jokes. But apparently the studio hopes to be a new Rockstar Games now. It's already removed several transphobic jokes from the re-release of Grand Theft Auto 5. For Grand Theft Auto 6, Bloomberg says that the developers are conscientious of trying not to make any jokes at the expense of marginalized groups and people. Take-Two, Rockstar's games parent company, says that it expects Grand Theft Auto 6 to be released sometime in 2023 or 2024, but the game has no official release date yet. So, I don't want to sound like too edgy, though, when it comes to the very, very tail-end comments over here, because we've been seeing some stuff with this, because like they're trying their best to go and do a lot more stuff when it comes to, like, trying their best to be a little bit more politically sensitive. That's kind of the final point for this one. It is weird because I'm not against it per se, as long as they're not done in bad taste, but I'm also, this might be the hot take that gets me canceled, but I'm also someone who's okay with just making jokes of everyone. Now, should it be too hardcore, or should it be really bad, or all that? No. But I do kind of feel like sometimes if they try to play it too safe, it does kind of lose a lot of its luster of what a game is. Now, am I against them changing stuff and making things either more politically correct or whatever? No. As I keep saying, as long as the game is good, there's other aspects of humor too as well. I like that. I think I'm fully okay with it. Like, I'm fully cool with it. But I just want to make sure it's done well. Same thing as I mentioned with the character writing too. I don't really mind if it's a woman. I just want to make sure the character is fun, the story is good and engrossing, and I kind of care about the character, like has good character development throughout the story itself. So I'm very intrigued to see on how this is going to be kind of going too as well. Mainly because I think I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of potential for this and a lot of cool stuff to see, but as well, it's also kind of intriguing to see how GTA 6 is going to maybe be a lot more different in regards to all these games. And I do, at least for me in the gaming culture, I do very much enjoy the fact that a lot of these developers are calming down all this stuff, where they're trying to have their team go and be like, hey, we don't want to work 100-hour work weeks, we don't want things going crazy. At the end of the day, I think that's good for developers all over the place, but kind of give me your thoughts and comments as well. GTA 5 has been iconic, it's been very good, has flown very well, I want to hear your thoughts on everything. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. You have the Howl links down below for the Samsung signups and check-on-ups for that. We have the Twitter and Twitch room as well down below in case you just want to check those on out. Same with the Weeble, same with the Target link, same with the Amazon, same with the Twitter and Twitch stream, and make sure you guys are subscribed. with the notifications on. I love you guys.